This is a Broken Reel Media production, and you're listening to the Something's Wrong Here podcast.
One, yo, check two, check three, yo, check 1, 2, 3, let's go.
I can see him looking in the mirror, practicing that.
Welcome back to the Something's Wrong Here podcast. Go look us up on socials, follow us, send us an email if you want, swhpcast@gmail.com.
I'm Brian.
I'm Ken-Zee.
And I'm Randy, and I'm a Republican.
I'm Grant, and I'm not.
Ooh, so we're going to start right in with the...
Save room for Jesus.
I know, the divisiveness. Divisiveness.
Especially on
Tomato.
Yeah, exactly. So,
my mind.
Grant, welcome in. A lot of people have been telling me, you need to get Grant on here. And it was always an idea and stuff, but at the same time, I think people had the idea that I was going to use the platform and roast you for your ideas because there's usually people that didn't have the same thought process as you.
Yeah.
And probably little they know, I probably talk to you more than anybody about politics and pop culture and everything else. So with that being said, we're going to get into some politics, pop culture, and explore the fact that some people just might not think the same as you. It's okay to have a beer with them, chill, hang out, and...
Wait a minute. You guys are friends?
I know, right?
And you vote differently?
I wasn't aware that was possible.
Let's just dive right the fuck into that. How is that possible in 2025?
I don't know. I saw today that somebody unfriended 30 people because they had different ideologies than them. And they needed to, it's kind of like a airport. I guess they needed to announce the departures.
You know this person too, Ken.
I don't care. I didn't get on Facebook today.
Probably better.
Actually, I won't lie. I got on Facebook, but I immediately hit Marketplace, and I was looking at snowmobiles.
I watched that particular person post for years.
So how are you guys friends?
Painful.
How does that work?
It's real simple. You have conversation, discourse. If you don't agree, you say your piece and then move on. What do you think?
It's about the same as being friends with somebody you agree with. You just...
punch
you
him
just
in
have
the
different
face.
opinions, and you just don't let that be a part of...
You don't call him a Nazi?
I did not.
You don't call him a bigot?
Actually, I think me being the Republican, I'm the Nazi.
You don't call him a snowflake?
Yeah.
Well,
I know all the names.
You do know all the names. You've got them all down.
all the names.
so with what Elon did at the inauguration, it does look like some people are going to be calling that side some names.
I think I love that you brought that up right away, because I think that I've been thinking about it, since it blows up about it. Okay, in context, most of the clips I see show just him doing the palm, and then it's like open hand, right? It's like a weird open hand thing. Most of the clips don't show what he said before and after, which I don't think makes much difference. I mean, I don't know. Elon is a character. If you saw him doing his dancer, that was, to me, and I'm not a political guy very much, I thought that was actually probably more disturbing than the hand motions, because he looked like a 5-year-old that just got a trophy.
I have a guess on it, but it's unpopular.
He got the toy he wanted out of the claw machine at the arcade. He's like, yes.
Have you seen the one where they're at some sort of corporate retreat? I'm guessing he takes off his jacket and goes dancing in. It is the most awkward.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
He's like hopping on one foot, doing exactly what you just said, and it's just the most disturbing 30 seconds.
I think the guy just wants to go viral.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think how he cares he does it, because he doesn't care. He has all of his money. He doesn't care. And we need him. He's a net positive, but he's a troll. We all know that. We've all in this room admitted it.
Honestly, I think that's my favorite part of Elon, is that he's like a master troll.
Yes.
He's
now,
really
also, it's fucking great when he loses sometimes. Like when you see his own Cybertruck window shatter when the ball hits it. And his face just says it all with his words, Jesus fucking Christ.
Supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I seriously think the guy's just trolling. I think he just literally wants to go viral because he has a platform and he wants to be heard and seen. And everything that he posts up until this, like all the fart jokes and the video game shit, no one cares. No one cares.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, the left, since we're going to talk politics, the left pretty much championed him as this great innovator and the savior of the world because he had the electric vehicles and stuff. Yeah. And then he finally got tired of the basically he said, it's just I'm tired of the left eating their own.
Oh, he posted that meme, right? That said, "I was here," and the meme shows like he's in the middle. And it says, "This is what it looks like now," and he's basically just the scale just shifted, and what used to be considered politically moderate is now like you're pretty much a healthy conservative.
Well, yeah, and I mean, look
as values have gone up in measurement per
I
side.
still think, though, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a rich man, and which party is going to benefit a rich man more? It's going to be the Republican Party. So, I mean,
Does it? Wait a minute. I want to interrupt you there. I want to fight that. Does it matter what party?
Hey, we're all about peace.
when you say, does it matter what party you are if, like, you're a rich person? Is that what you're asking? Or
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Does it
unfortunately,
matter?
Yeah, it probably does in terms of if you're rich. I mean, look at most rich people and the people that went to the inauguration and things like that all lined up behind Trump, which is normally reserved for state governors and things, but it's all these CEOs. It's most of the companies we use on a daily basis were there.
a lot of
kissing the ring is what it looked like to me.
There's a lot of actual influencers and stuff there. I saw too.
All right, so you said that. You said you think it's kissing the ring. So I'm gonna put this idea forth, and we've talked about it a few times. A few of the episodes. I'm gonna make it real quick. Is that when we play this tribal politic game, right? Left versus right, Democrat, Republican, whatever it is, conservative, liberal. What happens is, I'll just put myself in the conservative, and you'll flip, right? So I see Elon do what he did, or what you just talked about. Like you see them kissing the ring. What I tend to do is I try to keep it all kind of in good faith and try to interpret, because I mean, not everybody, you don't always attribute to malice, like stupidity, ignorance, all these things. So, but I found that when we talk in the mainstream in politics, what happens is right there, I think he's just doing what he's doing. It's like, I would argue that the reflexive thing for each side is to look at what the other one does and take it in the worst possible light.
Sure.
And look at your own. You look at your own and be as forgiving and good faith as possible. Like, oh no, you don't understand. Like Joe Biden didn't mean that. He didn't mean that. But if anybody else that's on the other side says something that could be dumb, ignorant, or malicious, it's like, oh no, I know he's doing it. It's on purpose. And it's vice versa too. I'm not just pinning that on. Conservatives are just as bad.
I was going to say, because you can bring that up on the other side.
Exactly.
You see the people saying, well, Trump was just joking about that one thing or the other thing, and it's like, well, he was probably just saying it. And,
well, you can see what's been happening with the Elon hand thing. Is that
I don't know, but at the same time, I get exactly what you're saying, and I don't know how long he's been doing it, but at the same time, let's just say it's probably not the best image to portray yourself at in society.
Oh, absolutely.
But does it take you viral? And if you don't care, does it matter?
I don't know if he needs to go. He owns one of the largest media companies there is.
It is. I don't know if he cares as much.
I don't think he does care, to be honest with you. But also, don't you think that
he's not motivated by money?
Business acumen, but wouldn't that slightly affect some of his stock prices if some of his investors thought this man is on TV thrown up?
But he still has fuck you money that, like,
well, sure,
he can lose $100 billion tonight, and he probably doesn't lose sleep because it's happened to him 1,000 times over.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's also a businessman. You think that they don't want their bottom dollar affected.
Sure.
Period. So
stock price is king,
man.
man.
That, not to say that he did it to go viral, and then I don't know honestly what he did. There's so many opinions going around. It was a Roman salute. It was him just waving to the crowd.
I just take it at its simplest form. He's a troll. He's an attention whore, and I think at a level it was, no matter what I do, I know I can throw something out there, and it will get picked up. And we're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, if
I think he's just a fucking attention whore troll, and again, I don't think he cares. I think it's funny to him. I think he giggles about this shit.
I mean, we are 2 days going on the third into Trump's presidency, and we have plenty to talk about, which is crazy. I mean, 3 days in, and there's already so much, and I've already seen, especially in social media, which, you got to take all that with a grain of salt, but the end of the world's already happening again. Has the left not learned that they're gonna have to do more than scream? He's a fascist. He's a dictator. He's gonna bring on World War III. The end of the world is coming. Like, have they not learned that he's gone?
Here's what I would recommend: to have people that aren't on your team listen to you and practically want to kind of understand. It would help if the left learned about one other fucking dictator other than Hitler. Because you can't make everybody
A fascist Hitler.
Well, I don't care. Use fucking villains from movies that everybody knows. It doesn't matter. Like even Red Skull, even calling Jordan Peterson Red Skull was at least fucking creative. Okay, at least he's Hitler. Like, man.
Well, everybody's a fascist, a dictator, and a Nazi.
Well, that's what I'll say
Okay.
is one of the main reasons I think we lost this election cycle was because with this whole social media aspect of everything, you saw, at least what and my TikTok feed and everything like that, I saw what looked like a huge push for Kamala. Like, this was sewed up, this was done.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it, but that's because we're all same with the right, in their own little echo chamber of saying this, and your algorithm feeds you your echo chamber.
Feeds you what you want to hear,
and,
man.
That's how you get that money.
I can teach you how to train that dragon.
I would love some lessons.
But,
I've been trying to teach Randy. His is fun.
He keeps trying, but mine's so fucked that I enjoy it.
It's not even just it's not just political garbage. It's just garbage.
So
My algorithms are straight. I think my brain is fucked algorithms.
But my point was that we lived in a bubble where if you did one thing that we disagreed with, we kicked you out of the bubble and called you a fascist. And I don't think that just because one person may agree with one right-wing talking point, but would have ultimately voted for Kamala, but now is not going to because everybody's calling them a fascist for believing this or that, or the border needs more security or something like that. That is what was a huge detriment, I think, to the Democratic Party this time around.
Can I ask you a question?
No, this is a podcast. No questions allowed.
Yeah,
I'm getting the death stare right now.
That's pretty vicious side eye you got.
Imagine the surprise on Grant's face if I were to punch you in the penis right now from this side of the table.
That would be a hell of a reach.
That's a reach, dude.
Yeah, I'd be more impressed.
That might go viral, dude.
That would. If you could pull that off from where you're sitting. No, I said sitting.
All right. So from your side, I want to know your thought process here, because a lot of things just got said that are all what I think of bullshit, trigger bait, or trigger words, clickbait, clicks. Everything's for
Reactionary
fucking
stuff.
attention.
Yeah.
And all of the news, doesn't matter if they're real or fake in your opinion, every one of them is guilty of just using these trigger words to get you to click because they need you to click their website.
They need
recurring
views.
clicks.
Yeah.
They need views. They need
need
the
to push
sponsorship,
advertising,
and
too.
they're getting metrics based on advertisements.
Yeah.
So at a certain level, the media is always, you don't want to believe it's manipulated, but there's a level of, depending on where the money comes from, depending on who needs to get paid, there's a version of learning how to do your own research and read multiple.
Absolutely.
I personally think that something that I've noticed in my time, and I don't like to identify with either party. I think they're both fucking stupid. So I'm here, Switzerland, roast you all.
He's bipolitical.
I truly think I hated both. I think both of our candidates were turds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't call him bi. He's more
we'll come
asexual.
back.
Like
We'll come back.
he just fucks himself.
Polypolitical.
One thing
No,
I
just
found.
just himself.
This question's long-winded.
all
One
about
thing that I
himself.
found in my time is that the right are the type that get outside and go do it. The left, if you take it at a stereotype, will jump behind a keyboard and post about it. And I think that's something that happened, is a lot of the left in this one thought it was sewed up, thought it had themselves rocking and rolling.
They can't vote for Trump again.
But those echo chambers, the algorithms clicking, what level of media in like physical, real media going out and talking to people versus the jumping on the internet? What do you think that was effect-wise here?
I think it had a big effect. I mean, if you look at, I think one of the biggest mistakes that Democrats made with young people was that they were reluctant to go on to any of these comedian podcasts or anything like that, where you had Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan, they had Trump on. If they would have just sucked it up and been willing to go on and have some fun, and I mean, Bernie's gone on both of these and done very successful.
Love the shows.
And here's one thing that actually
I actually
triggers me
painted
there.
Bernie in a way different light than I ever saw him before, and it was a positive light.
I like Bernie. I will say, I think that there's something to be said about what you just said, where they didn't want to go on there. A lot of those podcasters actually were saying they invited them, but that they needed editing. They needed to be able to do their thing. And it was one of those where I thought immediately, That's not right.
Yeah.
All of this long form conversation, what we're doing here, the edits that are in this room are when Randy fucks up the intro twice. It's not, there's no edit. There's no production company here. There's no look it up.
Or when your baby bladder makes us cut.
It's a fine engineer, so it makes up for it.
But I mean, like, the real thing for me in that sense is the long form conversation, when you have to break that, when you can't have yourself in a conversation without the ability to erase or edit or come back to what you said to make sure you did it right.
Well, you saw that with Kamala not showing up on the amount of TV interviews that Trump was on every day. He was on 3 or 4 of them, and she was, maybe I can count on 2 hands how many she actually did through her whole term of trying to run for president. I mean, sure, she only had 150 days to do it, but still.
But I mean, at the same time, she kind of had 4 years to promote herself in a positive light,
Very
too.
true.
She should have been in for. I mean, Biden kind of hit away, so she could have taken the spotlight at all times.
You're bringing up a good point, which is, and I don't think I see the right do this as much as I saw the left do this in the last 6 months, okay, since election is this. I think anybody that pays attention, maybe he didn't like politics, maybe he didn't pay attention, but
I paid attention. I just don't like it.
the party line until roughly August. The party line in July and August was that Biden's fit, and I'm gonna sidetrack just real quick. Sharp as a tack.
Yeah,
So his first debate showed that he was not. I mean,
Sharpest attack. And then this is my little tangent, which is, and then JD Vance says he's really weird. This
thought that
fucking
was great,
this
though.
what's killing me is this, it's a fucking slogan thing. It's where the powers that be are like, look, whenever you talk about this, we are going to use this one specific phrase. And one thing I got to tell you, man, you want to talk about somebody being
Not to
weird?
interrupt, but that's weird. That sounds fascist.
That's weird.
sure, but I also could look at it the other way and say, they took a page from Trump's playbook where it was just crooked Hillary, all this stuff where he basically gives Sleepy Joe all these nicknames to his people. Why can't we just do the same thing to them?
But that Trump's propensity, which I really don't like.
And they did say a lot of weird things.
And I don't like that he does it. I don't like that he calls people names. I hate the name calling. I think it's low class. I think it's unprofessional.
That's his thing to to attack people.
But that's how he gets the tagline across.
So he gets a tagline, but
You're so dumb.
It's a bully tactic. That's what it is. It's like a power tactic. And
but it's not a whole party.
My point is, do you remember a few years ago when Sinclair television stations all had their anchors read the same blurb?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that looks like to me when everybody's saying no, Biden sharp as attack. Oh, that JD Vance guy, he's really weird. Everybody uses the same fucking words.
Towing the party line or whatever. That it's just trying
that's
to...
a big brother
Trigger
thing,
words,
dude.
clickbait. It's okay.
Unintentional though. I guess my thing is, do they think that that's do they think that seems innocent?
Well, I think the weird thing
altruistic?
also didn't. I don't think they planned that as a thing. It was just the vice presidential candidate came out and called J.D. Vance weird, and then that stuck, and everybody thought it was funny, and it became a meme.
I was going to say this though. I was just about to say, you have to agree, the left is really bad at making memes.
Yeah.
They got to get better.
You got to be a little meaner.
I'm just trying to go back to the real raw point of words
You
here.
got to bust into those microaggressions just a little bit
more. Yeah.
Everyone's freedom fighter is a terrorist somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So remember that. The word terrorist, we love to make that a media word, right? That just means someone's in extreme fear of someone else.
all relative.
Let me give you a hint. I had a struggle paying my taxes because the Missouri Department of Revenue sucks. Not even because I did a fault, but because they got my address wrong.
You didn't have a trouble paying. You had submitting it.
I'm struggling to deal with the Missouri Department of Revenue. And
Yes, what I'm saying is to who to give the payment to.
when you owe money to the government, you can't give it to them because they can't get their shit together. That becomes a terrorist to
A
you.
little frustrating.
No, it's a terrorist to me.
Yeah.
Let's
if
talk
you wanna
real
break down
word.
the
I live in
definition of
extreme
the-
fear of the government kicking my door down to take money or some shit from me one day.
They're not going to do that.
No, they're never gonna
people
do
that have
that. It's
years
a
and years and years and years and years delinquent taxes. They don't
But
give a fuck.
the point of it is,
I know somebody.
Just ask Willie. Willie Nelson, I think, got 25 years not paid taxes or something like that.
last time you heard your friend say I'm terrified of something, it probably wasn't someone from the Middle East. It was probably something stupid in America, and it's not a terrorist.
So that's why I always kind of laughed about the whole Iraq, Afghanistan, the slogan of them protecting our freedoms. It's like these people wouldn't. What are they going to do? Get a boat? How are they going to invade the U.S.? Are they going to threaten our freedoms?
Are our freedoms the right to go build Starbucks and McDonald's in every fucking corner in every country? Because if that's pretty much what it was.
I mean, no
empire
offense to
building.
the troops or anything, but it's still just, it's like, what? I didn't.
Or
I get the World War II protecting our freedoms thing, because that they could have got here, but like the whole Middle East terrorists, I'm protecting your freedoms.
You know what? We were afraid because of the. You remember Gaddafi?
Oh yeah.
He shot 6 missiles.
And we
very inaccurately. It didn't touch anything, very inaccurately, but he shot 6 missiles.
No, but you know what he did do?
That scared us.
He tried to back oil with gold.
Yep.
That's
That
what
was the
he
real
did
problem.
do.
Wait a minute. Oil and gold are connected?
No, they're not.
Oh, they're not.
Oil and the American dollar is connected.
Yeah.
He wanted to swap it to
It's
gold.
the oil standard, not the gold standard anymore.
It's like the Fed, man.
And
Just
the
get 'em
American
get 'em
dollar is
off,
based
get 'em
off of
material property and onto.
You know, anybody that's
hopes
tried to
and
do
dreams.
that, as we always end up going to war with or imposing some sort of sanctions, like Cuba tried to do it and things like that, of getting off of oil and going to gold, and it always ends terribly for whatever country tries to do that.
Well, it usually happens when those countries don't have a lot of U.S. dollars.
Well, I mean, look at BRICS. They tried to back their own.
Yeah.
That was a huge deal for like a week until it fell apart.
Yeah, who knows? That's another one of
We're on
vaporware
day,
situation.
like we said earlier, we're on day 3 of Trump's presidency. Let's just say the next 2 years go pretty well. The economy's going good and everything.
Okay.
I hope.
Moving forward, what do the Democrats have in play? Well, what is it going to take to get the majority back?
I think, and I don't want to be a doom and gloom guy, but I just do think it's just going to take 4 years of seeing what Trump is going to do, and then
at least two.
At least 2.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, until we go to the midterms at least. But I also think that this whole, what the biggest mistake was trying to take away TikTok from young people, that you created a revolution that's just not going to die down, and that's going to directly affect the midterms in 2 years, because what they're going to do is they're just going to look at a list on who voted yes for the TikTok ban, and they're going to just vote the opposite of that person.
Trump started it a long time ago, but I mean,
Fucking insane that people would vote because of that.
did he not play that
freedom of
perfect?
speech.
He started it saying we shouldn't have it, we need to ban it. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says no, we're gonna get rid of it, and then the Democrats fumbled the ball terribly.
Yep.
Terribly. Last day of Biden's presidency says, I'm going to pass it on to Trump. That's going to be his decision. Now, by law, he has to enforce it because it was, the Supreme Court threw it out there. But what happened? It got shut down just as the Supreme Court said, and it was one giant political ad that Trump, basically, Daddy Trump's going to come in and save the day.
President Trump, and we'll have your service back up in no time.
That's exactly what the pop-up said when you logged into TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I said.
It was like literally just a giant political fuck you. Like, they were worried about it becoming a platform for propaganda against them, and now they're just going to flip it and use it as their own propaganda machine. I guarantee you.
Who fumbled it worse, Mark Andrews or the DNC?
One's macro, one's micro, but man, or both were terrible.
Both pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah.
I do feel
Vegas made some money from.
I do feel bad for the dude, but he
Andrews
did drop 3 that hit his hands.
All right,
3.
get back to topic. I was just having
Wide open.
funsy. I thought of a funsy on who fumbled it worse.
But no, they dropped the
football
ball.
nerds,
Like
dude. We're gonna
they
talk
could
about
have. He could have came in. You have 163 million users, I think, in the United States. He could have went in and basically said, "Hey, we're going to give this a stay. We're going to look at it, see if we can find a buyer." He didn't. He said, "We're going to pass it on," and it turned into 12 hours of one big political ad of everybody losing their mind because people were losing their income. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
People lost
10
their
million
income.
Americans make their livelihood off of TikTok, and that's not including just the side hustles that people use it for to be able to pay.
So with that being said, it turned into a 12-hour political ad of people checking it, seeing if they can get their livelihood back, and all of a sudden he swoops in, saves the day, it's back on. They were going to work with Trump and save the app. That's going to be hard to come back from.
Well, I also think it's hilarious with the social protest of everybody going directly to the competitor of TikTok, which is RedNote, and going directly to the Chinese app versus the app that is not owned by China at all.
I don't even think the app was in English when you went to download. I looked it up. I didn't
I have a
download.
RedNote account. I love it. They are the most friendly people over there, and I think the main reason I don't know because I've never been to China. I've not studied China. But what I can tell you is, based off of what they show us, it does not seem like they're that big of a communist threat that everybody's making them out to be. I'm wondering, because they have huge, nice places that are like $500 a month that would cost us $5K a month.
Can I tear you apart for a second?
Sure. I said I'm no expert on China, so
I'm not either. I'm never going to claim to be, but I also know what China has said geopolitically for a long time, and that is that Taiwan is theirs.
Sure. I mean, I don't agree with that. Just like,
okay, but can you understand where our problem with China lies when they say they want Taiwan? Because we sent every aspect of tech from Silicon Valley to Taiwan.
yeah,
Every
but I don't think that
fucking
has
bit
anything
of
to
it.
do with Red Note.
No. I'm not talking about Red Note. I'm just saying when you look at the Chinese threat geopolitically,
Sure.
it's in a form of tech more than anything.
And
We've got nukes. We've got guns. We're good there. What we have is no semiconductor facilities right now. They're being built right now in our area. All over, because guess where all of them are coming from?
China.
Everyone, no,
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
China is the direct competitor because aren't we like stopping exporting or importing something to do with their super?
Yeah, and they keep
chips or
finding
something
ways
like
around
that.
it because we got some stupid fucking people here.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's some
few,
stupid people everywhere. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying.
What is it?
What I was trying to make wasn't
Americans.
that it's great in China. It was just that the people of China, I think, are just some of the most friendly people I've ever come across on an app. I do not agree with China's political policies, but the welcoming reception that they gave people you would think would be, fuck you, get off this app, it's ours, you're taking up our bandwidth, things like that. It was, please stay, let us show you.
Have you ever
around.
thought there's any chance there's state sponsorship there? I'm asking as an ally
I don't think
and
that
an
just
enemy.
everybody that I've run across on Red Note is a state sponsor trying to say, look how good. I mean, I follow a couple people over there that moved from America over there that are showing life as what it's like to be an American in China and things like that.
Have you ever tried to find anything nefarious or on the darker side of Red Note that where you could argue freedom of speech still exists?
I was going to say, I don't think you would be able to find it on Red Note because it is a Chinese app. Largely, they are not going to let you. I don't think you're going to find anything criticizing the government on there either because they're going to say that you can't do that. I mean,
I'm only asking questions
No,
with
sure.
curiosity.
I mean, we're talking about the country. I think that banned Matt Stone and Trey Parker for portraying the president as Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
So
Great.
I just like to point out,
Sure.
Taiwan is a critical piece of land right now because we gave up tech to them, and then they're also right next to China, and that's now a big problem for us.
is that where Nevada's at, or how the
Taiwan is not in Nevada.
no
I want to clarify this.
Or Nevada.
No, I was talking about Nevada, Missouri.
the semi-chip conductor company that
TSMC.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's in Taiwan.
I thought so.
So, brought up TikTok, the ban service coming. I think the service going down. What I originally heard was that the service would stay on, but they were going to stop doing updates, like functionality updates for it, which would basically just deprecate it out over time.
Yeah.
You can't support it over time. But then they stopped the service down. So, and then there's a huge hubbub, huge whale of from the left, from Democrat. I think more at the left. I'm not going to put Democrats in this. Young people on the left that were like, this is affecting my freedom of speech, and I found that to be quite ironic, because that crowd was the most derisive and condescending assholes towards conservatives when conservatives said that having the government come in and say you have to censor misinformation. They got made fun of for saying that was affecting their freedom of speech. And then the hum from the fucking left, when you take off fucking TikTok, all of a sudden you guys aren't big arbiters of freedom of speech until you're the shiny object that you covet the most, right? Which, I mean, it's TikTok, right? People love it. Is taken away, and then that brings. And I don't do that to give you a hard time.
Sure.
It's just. There's
people in general.
There's these angles, positions, and responses that, like, let's say the right does more than the left, or maybe the left does more than the right. And to me, I've never laughed like more. I really just like, fuck, can you believe that they're saying this shit now? When
Well,
all of a sudden
let's talk about freedom of speech.
There was
Go ahead, Grant.
The whole point is of us saying you need to have censorship is that you can't just go spouting lies all the time and then putting it off as fact. Whereas if you get rid of TikTok, there's probably misinformation on there, but that was more of a core issue of freedom of speech, less of a core issue of you can't just say something that's not true and then pass it off.
So let me ask you something real quick, and I mean this. This is more my philosophy head.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Everybody in the world, including us in this room, and I know this is true. All four of us, our epistemology, our way of deriving truth from information, they're different. I mean, I don't think they're too far different. I think we inhabit a lot of the same Venn diagram space, reason. But, you know, what you said there kind of set me off because you said, well, what's right? Basically, it's kind of what's right and what's wrong, what's true and what's not. That is such a loaded way to describe the situation, and you can only use that if everybody that you're communicating to and people that are inferring from what you're communicating, it only works if you all have the same concept of truth.
Yeah, but there's also facts that exist in. You have to be able to say, you can't say that injecting bleach in your arm is going to get rid of COVID. True. And because that's just not true. You can't, you know.
But you can also say that the person that said that, I know who you're talking about, it's obviously Trump. We know he says dumb shit.
Yeah.
We know he says dumb shit.
It wasn't a lie what he said, though.
And that's well, no, this is the reason.
No, he
the reason why I'm saying it is like based on
he
context,
said you could scrub it, which is true. He's just really fucking dumb when he
it's
says
like
shit.
in context.
He has the best words.
And Hanlon's razor. I'm telling you, Hanlon's razor is the most common thing with Trump. Okay, has he said things at times that I thought were a little bit manipulative? Yes. Has he also said stuff that was just stupid because I don't think he really understands things? Absolutely true as well. Sure. So I tend not to attribute malevolence or malice to everything he says when it just could be that he's kind of an idiot.
Sure, and I just use
or
that
he's
as
ignorant, right?
As an example. It doesn't even have to be him. It can be anybody on the internet that's passing something off that does have a blatant truth of facts to it versus them saying no, but that's like people that are claiming the earth is flat. It's like you can claim that, doesn't mean it's true. So
but do you want to censor them because it's not true?
They shouldn't be allowed to go around spouting it and on everywhere. Like,
I mean, here's my issue with
this is fact and you should believe me, and
world's full of shitty opinions, man.
Here's my problem with it.
True.
I am a firm believer that you shouldn't be censored for what you say, whether you like it or not. I don't care where your feelings start isn't where my rights end.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time,
why is your freedom of speech more important than your right not to offend somebody?
Right?
Are you fucking kidding me?
But at the same time, I am really struggling with. I don't know fact from fiction anymore when I'm told something.
Yeah.
And that is becoming a serious problem in this country. I don't know if other countries are having this issue, but I know in our country,
it's everywhere.
It's got to be the world.
It's everywhere, dude.
It has to be because we have been so overtaken by microaggressions that you can't offend anybody else, and that you can say whatever you want whenever you want.
It's an infection of postmodernism, dude.
And
I'm not shitting you.
No, it is.
It's that idea of it's the idea of your truth versus my truth.
I can also give you a counter example that's kind of fun.
What's that?
Yeah, look at Graham Hancock's Ancient Apocalypse. This is fun, though, for real. I have friends on the left. I have friends on the right. They both enjoy it.
That's great.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a great...
And guess what?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Those liberal sciencey people, they enjoy it a lot because they're seeing facts that they think might be real. They're also looking up the articles and doing the deep dive. Yeah. And when you show a clipped photo of the Sphinx and say, what happened here? And everyone says water erosion. And then you take the full fucking photo and say, here's the Sphinx. What do you think now? No, it's not water erosion. It can't be that old. Why? Why can't it be that old now that you've seen where it came from? And there's no fucking willingness to open your mind when you're when you think you've got the expert opinion.
We have the internet. We know everything.
Well, this all went on a tangent, not in a bad way.
I'm just saying the counterexample to where
I get what you're saying. But my original question was, moving forward, do Democrats have anything planned to take majority back? Now, moving forward, the GOP, they can't rally around Trump anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to go around and 2 rallies with people and stuff.
Was he ever the focus? Vance, let's be real.
Hold on. Let me finish my question.
Oh, God damn it. Hurry it up.
Trump's done. 4 years, he's done. He can't be president again. Does J.D. Vance have it?
Yes.
No.
I think he's got it. I mean, I think he's got it more than Trump.
Yes,
does.
he does.
And if he has the Trump seal of approval, I mean just average results for the next 4 years. Let's not get into any more fucking wars. Let's tighten up our spending, crazy external spending. Let's fix immigration.
Can I say something before you go?
Go.
Well, here's my thing too: is he has an Indian wife or girlfriend. I mean, they've spent so much time attacking Melania, who's foreign and stuff. So I mean, at first, I thought the left was all about championing the women and foreigners and stuff, but if you're not aligned with their ideology,
Man.
So let me go back a second here and let's go to JD Vance for a second.
all right, I'll let you start, then I'll let Grant.
I'm someone who's been
Rebuttal.
accused of being the libtard. I've been accused of being the Nazi. I've been all of it. Depending on who sees my truck versus who sees me behind a bar, depends on who gets what.
It's very divisive.
He's still a libtard.
But where I like to see
Definitely.
this one go is with JD Vance. One of the favorite things that I found in long form conversation is when he is not an expert, he says, that's not me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That I like about him.
And he comes across incredibly normalized. He doesn't have a whole lot of weird stuff. And the thing about it is nowadays with the technosphere that
Besides
we live
fucking
in.
a couch, apparently.
But I was just going there. I guarantee you, and I'm willing to bet, starting right now, I'll put $10 on it with anyone that wants to. There's everyone from here on out that was born in the technosphere that becomes a politician. If you're a male, you've done something stupid with your dick once. I'm willing to bet that once because you have to learn mistakes.
Well, the crazy thing is now is that moving forward, politicians in the next 15 years, they're going to have a really fucking hard time because it's all now recorded and posted to your TikTok, your social media. Somebody's got it somewhere.
Where I'm going with that, though, was JD Vance knows when to say I don't know.
Yeah.
He knows when to have compassion. He knows where to stand up for the people that the left scream the loudest, which is the Sackler family, which personally, that's the most unifying way to get Americans on board. Kick them the fuck out of this country. I still don't know why we haven't. But that said,
A lot of money.
let's let that roll
about money here.
for a second here. Unify that. JD Vance doesn't like the Sackler family. JD Vance knows when to say he doesn't know. JD Vance has decent, in my opinion, decent philosophical and financial goals with decent ways to get there.
Ken-Zee,
However, I will
dude.
say, when I say decent, I say decent because it's not the best way, in my opinion, but I know that it's the best compromising way. And that's huge. And someone who's been accused a lot of one direction or another, I'm telling you right now, that is appealing to a lot of people.
Sure, but I also I will agree. I think he killed it with the debate against Kamala. He's very well spoken. He knows his shit.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Hold on. I didn't like him. I thought he was a horrible choice. I really did.
That's where
until
I
I
was
saw
going
him on
next.
Theo Vaughn and saw him as a real person. That's what America needs. A real person that's willing to say fuck shit. Yeah, my kids, I take care of them. They're my life.
So what, you didn't like him and you do like him?
I do like him now.
Theo Vaughn normalizes everybody.
Okay.
Now that I saw him normalized.
Damn, that was, get out of here.
But-
Coming back into you, Grant.
I'm saying just
Get
seeing
outta
him
here.
normalized
I get you,
changed
I get
my
you.
opinion.
I agree, but I think you're going to have the same case where the way we looked at Kamala when she was picked as vice president, we were like, what the fuck? Like, who is she? Why is she in this running? Nobody liked her. We were all like, there's no way she's going to be able to run next term to be or have any chance of becoming president until what made her popular was the fact that we kind of like, it was like, this is the only choice. We got to do this. We got to do it now. I think that America's kind of looking at JD Vance the way they looked at Kamala at first. Like, why? Like, why was he picked? Yeah, but I also think
I was that person. I was that person.
For how he could then become a popular choice, he's got to do a lot of what, like the outreach and stuff you guys are talking about in the next 4 years to make put himself up as this everyday man that will work for you. And if he can do that and can be a media presence, and Trump's ego will let him be out there and be his own person, I think he very well does have a good chance to win the next election.
I really think that this is going to be a 4-year parade of JD Vance.
Can I hit you with an abstract relativism?
Sure.
Donald Trump is Alex Smith. JD Vance is Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Okay. One term.
Here's how you do it.
One term, Alex Smith got him ready. And then what did Patrick Mahomes come out and do? And I'm not saying that we can fucking tell the future if that were JD Vance and how he swings, but I'm saying in a sense of preparatory, in a sense of getting him ready to go, I think this is a springboard.
Well, I agree, and I think that also,
because he goes from 4 years ready, running, get involved, see the mistakes Kamala made.
Yeah.
8 years, mine. 8 years is my go. And I think that's his goal. I think that's his dream. I think that's his ideological, philosophical thought.
That's 12 years of MAGA in a row.
I do think that he's probably the only good choice for the Republican Party. I don't think that I'm also a little worried with the Democratic Party. I don't know who.
That's what I was going to ask you if you feel that's the best one the GOP has. They have been on a horrible run. Biden. Let's just be honest. Obama. He was a halfway decent president, and he was a great speaker. You will never find a better speaker than Obama.
He's a good speaker. Well,
he's a cool guy. He's just overall one of those guys that you'd be like, I'd have a beer with him.
I don't agree with most of his stuff, but I would sit down and have a beer and talk to him. And you had.
He'd drink like some Mick Ultra bullshit. And no way. No way.
But you had Biden kind of riding the coattails of his success with the left and everything. And then you had these failures, just like Kamala didn't poll well. She was awful against Biden. Nobody liked her, but it was the money. The money has certain transfer rules, and they knew that she was one of the people that could get it. You've had failures like Booker and all this other stuff that just doesn't appeal to people, even the left.
Go through a convention either to have all of the delegates vote again to see who's going to go, and then have it potentially show that they didn't even believe in Kamala, and then now we have a Newsom or somebody up that I do think is not ready for something like that. I think Newsom will eventually run, but I think that they would have been forced to have pushed him up if she had lost that delegate race. It would have had to have been Newsom or something.
If there would have been a primary, she wouldn't have won. It would have been. I think Josh Shapiro, maybe Gretchen Whitmer, if you wanted to go.
But I also will say that if Vance doesn't do all those things, like I was saying, and doesn't become like this people would want to sit down and have a beer with, and I think we're just going to get the same old Rand Paul, the same old people that have always been up there every time, but always get overshadowed by the guy that you know is going to be president. Yeah. And
can I ask you a different question altogether?
Sure.
If we can't change any of it, the four of us sitting in this room, why are so many people so caught up in it and tearing friendships apart? That's something that throws me for a loop.
I think it just was a knee-jerk reaction to the shock of a lot of people, and their hopes were being dashed, and them everybody just having this hope and brightness that they thought, okay, this is going to be a huge change. We're going to get rid of no more Trump, no more of this, a good establishment of Democrats, and then it didn't, and it shocked them, and it scared them, and it was a reaction. I don't think it's gonna last. I think there will be those people that are like those just obnoxiously annoying uncles that are at Thanksgiving that you probably aren't going to ever talk to again, because it's just going to be an annoying conversation.
They're going to wear a Trump shirt and a fuck you hat, and that's pretty much what they're going to do.
But just your average day people that voted for him because he said no tax on tips or no overtime or things like that. Yeah, it'll fade.
I'm all for that.
Most people aren't going to cut their entire family off for the rest of their life. Most people aren't going to lose half their friend group for their entire.
Well, on that question though, I think what's real wild is that. You tell me. I mean, I guess I've only paid attention really since probably Obama years. Maybe, Bush, Al Gore, just because my coworkers at work were fucking hysterically crazy about it. It's crazy. Like these guys are gonna they would just be mean to each other. But I've never seen this thing where like something big happens, like Roe v. Wade when it gets overturned.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like my feed, and it's a good mix of conservative.
But it didn't get overturned.
Well, no. My point is, it's like like this catastrophizing. The worst thing possible is going to happen. Everything is
echo chambers.
It really has
become like a doom and gloom. No matter what happens,
Christians used to have that shit cornered. Because remember, if that happens, eternity is in jeopardy. And now it's like, if this happens, and I'm not even going to get into the sex, two genders, like the whole EO about male and female, like. I get it that that's an emotionally charged topic for a lot of people, but you cannot present that as if the world is literally going to erupt from its core if that EO is signed into
Well,
law.
it never does. I mean, I
You know what I mean?
born in 95, and I think I've already heard and lived through like 5 different world-ending events, and it's just like it just never happens. And
It's like I had a.
you know,
were
I
young,
think
dude.
ultimately people all want the best for what it is going to be. Like, the nuclear war is so far off from happening because it would just be mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
Everybody would die. There would be no benefit to it. You're not gaining territory. You're not winning this war. Like, you know.
Well, I mean, you won, but it's kind of
yeah,
temporary.
but I mean, you want Ukraine that is
so-
now completely irradiated and you can't live there for 1,000 years. Like,
Like Einstein said, that the Fourth World War will be fought with sticks and stones.
back to the fucking primitive shit.
You don't want to get me started.
But you know what? We're having a good time with this conversation. It's going really well. And so we're going to carry this on to a part 2. And the way it's going, probably part 3. So,
Shit, I don't want to see that guy's face in here that long.
damn.
I'm taking Grant. Thanks for coming back.
yeah, no problem.
So we're going to skip the final thoughts until our last episode, whether it be 2 or 3, maybe a 3-parter, so we can keep things rolling. But thanks for listening. And
Thanks, Randy's mom.
We love you, Randy's
Thank
mom.
you. Thank you guys.
yeah, who's actually going to be here shortly from out of town.
She's
so
streaming us live.
she might be. But yeah, we're going to continue this, and we'll catch you next week on the next episode.